Hey everybody, Stu Smith here going live. I hope you are well today, Tuesday morning, CSS critique show. But before we go into questions and showing some combat swimmer stroke videos, let's talk a little bit about the title of this Tuesday morning show. What makes an effective workout? The answer may surprise you. Um, let's start off with what a workout is. Basically, a workout should be a progressive routine that increases with time, intensity, um, weight, reps, all of those things, depending on what you're working on, distance should all have a logical progression to it. That basically means maybe 10 to 15% a week in distance, maybe some sort of progressive overload with a little deload and an increase after that, depending on the strength program you're doing. But really, what it has to be, if you're physiologically looking at a workout, it has to have logical progressions. It has to have uh, a split routine and arranged in a way where it incorporates recovery, maybe not a rest day every other day, but maybe a split where you're working upper body one day, lower body the next, mixing in cardio. Sometimes you can do a full body day with cardio following it, but it gives your body enough time to recover for the next activity when it is challenged again. And with that recovery is when you see your growth. Some people I've seen with programs just do the same thing every day, day after day, and they wonder why they're kind of plateaued, whether it's running times or it's weights or reps or whatever. So it really has to have a smart routine that incorporates recovery. You don't necessarily need a day off, but I like to put day off in my programs just for overall recovery. Um, but there's more important things than just everything I just said. Yes, all of those are important, but even if you had a mediocre created program, as long as you're consistent with it, you're going to see some really good results. Now, will those results be optimal? No, but they may be good enough. It just depends on what you are trying to do, where your goals are. If you're happy with those goals, it's an effective program made by you, made by somebody else, personalized for you by a trainer, or a generic program that you find in a book or online or whatever. Those all can be effective if you are consistent with it. So consistency is the key, but there's some other things that matter in the world of really competitive training, whether that is military, law enforcement, firefighter, athletic sports, competitive sports, whatever that is. What really matters is this: one, you got to get tougher, right? And how do you do that? Tougher is a product of getting strong and durable, but also having a high work capacity, which is endurance and muscle stamina. But it also means you're not going to break at all the challenges. Um, so you need some mobility and flexibility to help with some of that durability as well. So you're not just so stiff that one slight incorrect movement is going to put you down for a week. So toughness does matter. Getting tough, being able to work through pain, work around injuries, all of those things are physical and mental toughness attributes. Um, Another one is, working well with others, right? If you're a Rambo out there cranking out workouts on your own, not working out with a buddy, Maybe you don't have a buddy that works out quite like you. Something I did a while back ago when I was preparing for this journey is I had a buddy that I ran with that was better at running than I was. So I ran with him. However, that's all he did was run, right? He didn't want to go work out in the gym or swim with me afterwards. But I also had another buddy who was a great swimmer. I swam with him. He taught me a lot about swimming and getting in shape for swimming. And you know, it was a long process. And then I had a buddy I liked to lift weights with and do calisthenics with. And together, we would create a little system where I would work out with all three of them. And then um, we would go and go out that night. I'd be designated driver. They had fun. Everybody was happy. Um, so yeah, it's you got to get along with others. You got to be a team player. And whether you're under a boat, you're under a log, you're in a class, all of those things matter with your ability to get along with other people because there's no individual effort. You're going to get through this with other people. Um, and something I heard recently that I thought was really smart is if you think everybody in your group is an asshole, you may be the asshole. Just something for future thought if you feel that way. Now, maybe that's not always true. Maybe I'm sure there are exceptions to that, but something to think about. It always is good to be a good team player because you're going to need to be. And other one is just how serious are you? Do you miss workout days? Are you skipping them just because you don't feel like doing it? Right? Are you really serious about your recovery? Are you eating right? Are you sleeping right? Are you going out drinking 3 nights a week and ruining, your recovery for that weekend and you find out your Mondays suck because of it? How serious are you? Um, and finally, the last thing that really matters, especially in the spec ops journey, is you have to be a quick learner, right? Can you pick up people's um, rules and procedures and methods to doing something, whether it is physical or mental or tactical, some type of skill, athletic? Can you pick up a skill quickly and replicate it and do it on your own? Right? Those are things that are really important that you don't get flustered and you can't concentrate and you have to adapt and learn so you can do these skills at some level of competency in your journey because one of the other reasons why people don't make it through spec ops training has nothing to do with their physical ability. It has to do with their toughness, their teamwork, their ability to learn under stress, um, their durability when it's cold or hot. All of those things matter. So when I say what really matters or what makes a good workout, an effective workout, the workout's the easy part, but you have to take it seriously so it is and be consistent with it. After that, because you work consistent with it, you've built some good habits. You've worked out when you didn't feel like working out. Next thing you know, you have yourself a nice little bit of mental toughness that you've created because you've been disciplined throughout this entire process, working out even though you don't feel like it, going to work when you don't feel like it, and going to school when you don't feel like it. All those little things just give you another little scoop of being mentally tough. So don't take those for granted, and and cherish it. Cherish that. I don't really want to be here, but I'm doing it anyway, and I'm getting it done. Um, another thing too is attitude of gratitude. You know, you don't have to do any of this stuff, but you get to. That's a big one, right? Are you capable of doing this? So many people would do anything to be in your shoes if you're capable of doing this, whether it's a medical disqualification or something else. All right. So be thankful, have attitude of gratitude, be humble. So that's what makes an effective training program. Workouts are the easy part. So there you go. All right. So we got any questions? If I don't have any questions from you guys, I'll just go right into showing some CSS videos. I got one pulled up here if you guys want to watch it. And let's see. Let's see what this looks like. So far, so good. Good streamline. Could be a little straighter with this elbow here. I like to really lock those things out, right? All right, let's see what this looks like. Decent kick off the wall. It's fine. I've seen a lot of people do a breaststroke pullout and lose momentum off the wall. Thing that he is doing, like he's still on his first breath and at that yellow marker, that's plenty. You know, if you want to skip the breaststroke pullout and come up to breathe a little bit earlier, do it. It's not going to hurt you. This is actually really good. No loss of momentum. So consider that whenever you are swimming. All right. So top arm, bottom arm, kick. All right. So the one thing, okay, there you go. So the top arm, earlier I saw him, he had a top arm issue where he was not fully pulling and pushing all the way down to his leg. Now it looks like he is. Let's see if he changes sides facing us and you can see it a little better. There you go. Yeah. So he's taking that arm all the way from over his head, reaching down, grabbing water like the freestyle catch, pushing it down. Now, I don't like these extra flutter kicks because he's not a swimmer. And these extra flutter kicks, chances are they're not really helping him, but they're just making him more tired. Um, and make you feel like you're moving fast because you're working so hard. But if you just take them out, chances are you're still gliding anyway without the effort. But this is overall not bad at all. Not bad at all. I think this is like 50, 51 seconds. So, you know, he's at that sub 9 level right now. Now he just needs to get in shape to do it. Yeah, quit those flutter kicks. That'd be the next challenge I have for you is stop the flutter kicks. All right, so we'll queue up the next one here and have it ready for later. I think this is it. We'll see. All right, so next question. I'm a big guy trying to become a runner. My history is heavy lifting. Is there any of your books you recommend? Um, yeah, you know, my advice would be, look, you're probably strong enough already. Probably stronger than any runner out there, right? But you can't run very well. You know, and if you really want to become a runner, something I would do is seriously focus on running and some muscle stamina exercises. So that basically is, in a nutshell, calisthenics and cardio. And if you're a big guy, you may not want to do all of your cardio on the ground, hitting the pavement running. You may want to get on a bike or get in the pool or row machine or elliptical, just because, you know, if you're one new to running, those impact forces of running are going to go right up your feet into your shins, probably interfere somewhere between knee tendonitis, shin splints, stress fractures, or foot pain of some fashion. Um, so, you know, I would treat your cardio like a triathlete would treat the cardio, meaning 2/3 of your cardio should be non impact cardio, especially if you're a big guy. You know, when you say you're a big guy, I'm assuming you're well over 200 pounds and you're trying to be a runner. You know, you may want to lay off a lift cycle for 8 to 12 weeks, see what happens with a cows and cardio cycle. And if you feel like you're losing your gains, heavy lifting's probably not going to help you run faster in a longer running sense, let's say, like mile pace type running. It can help you with sprinting. So it also depends on what kind of runner you want to be. Do you want to be a sprinter? Because then it's just lifting and sprinting. If you want to be a longer distance runner, lose some weight, you're going to want more endurance and muscle stamina, which is a calisthenics and cardio cycle. So when people say they want to be a runner, I usually say, what kind of runner? I naturally assume you're a big guy wanting to do longer distance running, but I could be wrong. You might want to do faster running. During your workouts, what's a reasonable percentage to decrease in performance? Example, my 4 mile with good conditions is 27:49. However, mid end of the workouts, it's 30, 31, and so on for swimming and calisthenics. Um, Here's something I want you to try. I want you to try finding some foods and drink that you can eat and drink during your workouts. Because probably what is happening is you are just going through your blood sugar and your glycogen that allows you to hit that 27-minute run. And then you got nothing left in the tank on the back end, whether you're lifting first or doing calisthenics first and running last. You just have nothing left in the tank. So you probably need to work on your fueling strategies more than worrying about a reasonable percentage of decrease in performance. Yes, there's going to be some, but there's no reason for it to be that significant if you are learning how to hydrate, how to feed yourself during high intensity, longer workouts. Because some of my workouts are hour and a half, 2 hours long. If I'm not sipping on something that has some sugar in it, um, eating a banana somewhere or maybe an orange somewhere in there, um, it really is difficult for me to put any effort into that last event. I almost have to go aerobic, and I do because I just don't have any juice to go anaerobic. Right? Does that make sense? You understand what I'm saying there? For treading, test and buds with and without fins, are you allowed to do any type of tread kick, or does it always have to be flutter? Well, okay, without fins, it doesn't matter. You can do a scissor kick, you can do flutter kicks if you want. I don't know why you would, because that'd be exhausting. Or you could do a breaststroke kick and an egg beater kick, which is basically an alternating breaststroke. With fins, there's really only two things you could do, basically: constant flutter kicks, which is what most of us do, kind of a mid-range flutter kick, just kind of getting a rhythm of almost like you're jogging and you're just holding a 5-minute jog. Or you can do little flutter kicks, or sometimes you can do a big scissor kick, scissor kick, scissor kick like that, especially if you feel like you need, just to take a break from the little flutter kicks. But there's only one way to kick when you have fins on, and that's like this, right? Whether they're big or small, that's up to you. What do you think about Swick? Have you ever worked with them? Well, in my day, they did not exist. However, they had the special boat units, which was a different. Uh, it was still part of special warfare, but they didn't have like their buds like Swick training. Um, so they would come from the fleet, do these cool boats for a tour, and then they go back out to the fleet. Sometimes they'd be able to come back if they were really good and Spec War wanted them, but it was not a closed community like it is now. What I mean by that is, you join the Navy, you get through SWIC training, you're going to be a SWIC for the rest of your career. You don't have to go to a big boat, learn how to do a bosun's mate job over on an aircraft carrier, and come back and do small fast boats. That's how it used to be. Um, Now it's its own special warfare platform and command. There's no SWIC officers, so all the officers at those teams are SEALs. Um, so it's very similar to the way the EOD community does it with diving. Like EOD officers run all the dive communities. Now there are specialty dive courses like medical dive officer and construction dive officer, stuff like that, which are those specific jobs. But for the most part, the diving community is run by the EOD officers. So, what do I think about them? I think they're great. Yeah, those special boat units are awesome. Worked with them many times, and yeah, they're squared away people. Uh, will increasing my weekly running mileage help me get better at 2 miles and 3 miles, or do I need to implement intervals? You need to do both. I would think having a basis of certain amount of miles per week is essential, depending on what you're trying to do. So you want some volume to get in better aerobic shape, but you also want some speed, not sprint, pace speed to learn how to run a 6 minute mile or a 7 minute mile, whatever your goal is for that matter. You need to practice those goal paced intervals, not just run slow. Because here's the problem with just running long, slow distance is you get good at running slow, right? Eventually you got to start learning how to run fast. So what we do is we have a couple of days where we are doing goal pace intervals, and then we'll have a day where we're doing a long, steady run with hills mixed in, just to make it a little harder. But those runs are usually a little slower, a little longer, 6, 7 mile area, somewhere around there. But then our goal pace ones maybe be 3 or 4 miles, but we're focusing on goal pace 400s, 800s, mile repeats. And if we're trying to do a 6 minute mile, that means I'm doing my 400s in a minute 30, my 300 or my 800s in 3 minutes, and my mile in 6 minutes. So, yeah, that's how we do it. Check out this article that I wrote, getting to and through selection, running plan, help you get to and through selection. It's 20 miles a week of running, which isn't a whole lot. You still need to build up to 20 miles a week, can't just jump into it. But check out this article because it has a little bit of everything in it. It has hill sprints, intervals, sprint jogs, intervals. It has um, steady pace running. All of that can help you become a better runner. Cough button going because I'm sick. Um, I'm on week 8 of the PST book. My swim is a 950 now. Before it was a 1322. Run was 1311. Now 948. I want to go Swick. Nice. Those are good scores. Not bad at all. And you're only on week 8. I think this thing's 16 weeks, so keep on rolling with it. Should be able to get even better. All right. Hello, sir. What do you think about the test on drug performance enhancing that will start on the 1st of November during Buds? I don't think it's also during Buds. I think it's throughout the entire SEAL teams. But they've been doing it for the last 2 years. It's nothing new. In fact, I've written a couple articles about it. In fact, you can do Buds drug test to Smith in the Google machine. Let's see what comes up. All right. So, in fact, I wrote one on military.com and I wrote one on my site. I'm going to send you the one on my site because it has some different advice on it than you would normally hear me talk about. And then I'll put the other one on here about it as well from military.com. So, yeah, Check those out if you want to read about it. It's nothing new. I'm adapting to swimming with fins. What pains are acceptable to push through, and what pains are indicators to slow it down? Ah, that's a good question. A lot of people screw up swimming because they just kick inefficiently or they kick too hard and they pull a hamstring. I've seen that happen. Maybe you need to warm up a little more. Maybe get on a bike for 5 or 10 minutes and stretch out a little bit more before you jump in the pool. Definitely loosen your shoulders. I have found that doing some hanging pull ups, some rows, um, some push ups, but then, work some arm haulers in there, jumping jacks, whatever you want. Do some stuff on the dry land and then get in the pool, start swimming, and every 50 to 100 yards, start stretching, in between just to loosen things up. That's how a lot of people get injured. They're just too tight going in and they need to just loosen up. So there's a lot to swimming and treading that if you have some mobility in you, you would be surprised at the difference it makes with doing everything from kicking properly to pulling properly to getting in a streamlined body position. All are mobility related. So, what I want you to do is check out this article I just put in there, and there's some good stretches in there for you that are focusing on um, the tread stretches, but you can apply them to swimming as well. So it's at the very bottom there. Let's see, where was I? So hopefully that helps you. Um, as far as pains slowing you down or working around them, my thing is this: like if it hurts to pull, like freestyle, change your stroke. Make that bad arm the bottom arm of a CSS, or do breaststroke. If it hurts to scissor kick, try the breaststroke kick. Um, you're using different muscles with all of those. So you might be able to work around any type of ache or pain, and I would try that, or just get out of the pool if you need to and get your cardio on a bike for that day. All right, so we got some more questions, but I got to answer this question because I've just never seen it. What about utilizing a frog kick with fins? I don't think you can do it. You can try it. You might get somewhere, but you're not going to go fast. It's not an effective stroke for fast swimming. Now, if you're scuba diving on the bottom of the pool and you're just kind of, or bottom of the ocean, you're just cruising along. I've seen guys do it there, but mainly they're doing it because their hips and ankles hurt so bad they can't flutter kick like a normal diver or swimmer. So just get used to flutter kicking. Sightseeing with a snorkel, I wouldn't try a frog kick. All right, let me share my screen. All right, so swimming. That's a nice scissor kick there, or a flutter kick. Every now and then I see him like he looks like he puts a little scissor kick in there and then follows up with little flutter kicks. But for the most part, that is what I would call a good middle range, medium range flutter kick. Right? That is not a scissor kick. Like that one was almost a scissor kick, and he went into smaller kicks after, but it's minimal at best. And if you notice what he's doing, he's just constantly flutter kicking, and then when he needs to breathe, he's just pulling his arms to help him turn his head and regulate his breathing. So pretty much whenever you breathe, just pull your arms, inhale, go back under, exhale for 2 or 3 kicks, come back up. There you go. Look at that. That's smooth. Nice. Yeah. I promise you, you try a frog kick, you won't do Like he just did 100 yards in a minute 20. Time yourself with a frog kick and just see what you do with fins in 100. You'll realize you just wasted your time. All right. Let's see. Think nope, that's not it. Let me find another guy here. All right, here we go. This is a new guy. I will save this one for a minute. I do have some questions I want to answer. Winter cycle has be yoked shipping out the 17th. Has you yoked for Coast Guard? Any last minute advice? Thanks. Yeah, sorry, messed up on that typo there. Um, last minute advice for Coast Guard. Don't blow off swimming. You definitely have to pass a swim test. Treading, survival swimming, all of that's going to be very important. So make sure you're practicing it. Tread water with your clothes on. It's not very comfortable. Be able to take your boots off in the water, tie them up, put them around your head, be able to tread water. You know, practice little things like that. But if you've gone through some workouts and you're feeling pretty good with your PT scores and you're running and you're swimming, I wouldn't sweat it too much. Unless you're going like rescue swimmer, then that's a whole nother level of activity that you should be doing before you ship. Are you equally proficient both sides, left, right during the CSS? If not, what is the difference referencing in reference to 25 yards, meters, and time? Um, you know what? Let's see. All right, let's see if I can find my swim. All right, so this is my swim, right? And this is a 47-second lap, right? Looks like 46-second lap. So do the math on that. That's sub 8 swim. All right, so here we go. Let's do the math on it because I think I do change sides because I wanted people to see both sides of this swim. So let's figure it out. Is you're asking me specifically. So I be honest with you, I don't know. I think I'm pretty good at it. Let's see. All right, so I'm gonna click start. Boom, timer. So let's count strokes first, and we'll look at the time. There's one stroke, and I just count breaths. So you got to breathe every stroke. So there's 2, 3, 4. Oh, you know what? I bet I didn't. Ah, man, I didn't go strong weak on this one. I went strong on both because I should have been facing you the whole time. Ah, well, that sucks. Yeah, if had I been facing you both on these, it would have made a difference. I have another video of me doing strong and weak. Um, I just don't know where it is. Sorry about that, but you know what? I'll find that in our next CSS show. I'll make sure I have it in there. Um, but anyway, that was me doing that one. And I'm trying to see if I have any others. I don't think I do. Let me see. I might have one more. Uh, yep. Got a whole bunch of videos in here, but I don't know which one is going to be the right one for us. All right. You know what? I'll have to find it this week, and we'll try. But I will tell you this: I don't feel 100% like I do on my strong side. So and I've been doing it for 30 years now. So I will say I do feel a little off on my left hand side than I do on my right hand side. Now, I don't think it makes that big of a difference though. I think my kick and glides are the same. I think my stroke count for 25 yards is the same. So therefore my efficiency would be the same. Um, but I may be a little slower, maybe a second or maybe 2 seconds slower than on my strong side. So my speed is not the same, but my efficiency is, if that makes any sense. So from what I would see as a critique of the CSS, I would say probably my weak side kick is weaker than my strong side kick, causing that kick and glide to be just a little slower versus a little faster on the strong side. That's a good question. You made me think on that one, Gary. Nice work. The Buds Prep book mentions OSC. You mean OCS? Very concisely. I was wondering if you have any thoughts on OSC. You mean OCS? Come on, man. Okay. I see you fixed it. Yeah, OCS. Yeah, I mean there's a whole lot to it. It's very similar. You still need to crush the PST, so that works for that. Um, but you also have to endure a week of buds in the middle of the summer at Coronado to get through and selected to go to OCS. So you basically have to prepare for the specifics of that 1 week, which isn't that hard compared to 6 months of preparing for bud. So you need to ruck, you need to swim with fins, you need to be prepared to carry logs and boats. You got to take the PST again, so you got to still be in PST shape. So all of those things matter. But if you Google Stu Smith, SOAS, OCS, you'll see some articles on there that I've already written, since they started doing SOAS in 2014. So it's nothing new. It's almost 10 years old now. So um, I'm not. Yeah, we have 4 guys a year get selected to go to SOAS by OCS typically. So I'm not sure the question there, other than yes, it's possible. Is adding explosive exercises, explosive push ups, squats, probably muscle ups to the workout important for the tactical athlete? It's not unimportant. I think having some power involved into your training is definitely important. I will say this though, um, muscle ups, I don't think are really necessary. If you're a smaller person and know how to do a kipping pull up and learn how to cheat like that to get your body over that bar a little easier, sure, I think that's great. But where a lot of people screw up on the muscle up is they get up and then they're like this, hanging their whole body weight on their shoulders, and then they wonder why they have like torn rotator cuff or something. Um, just seeing big guys get on there and try to do a muscle up and hurt their shoulder for you know I haven't seen it to where someone needs surgery, but they hurt it bad enough to where they had to like deload for like 6 weeks. Damn, something got me. Frog kick for treading with fins. You can try it. I want you to try it. Then ask me that question. I think frog kick with fins is basically going to suck you under and then lift you back up. So there's going to be, it's almost like doing jumping jacks in the water to try to stay afloat. Right? There's just no easy way to get those legs up and back down together with fins on. You can try it though. How many miles a day should you be running before buds? People ask me this all the time. So you know what I did? How many miles should you run before buds? Stu Smith. Just type that into the Google machine, and here you go. This is my answer. Check it out. Already answered for you with a running program probably in there as well on how to do it. So you might be surprised by my answer. Read that article. Shipping for SO on the 24th. PT scores 904, 60, 70, 17, 911. Not bad. But I would say you may want to you may want to be around 30 miles at a minimum, but here's the deal. 30 fast miles a week, 25 to 30 fast miles a week will work for you. And what I mean by fast miles, I mean 6-minute pace for your mile and a half, 7-minute pace for your 4-mile timed run. Nothing slower than that, right? Then, if you want to run 40, run a couple of 5-mile runs on top of it during the week. That'll get you 40 miles, and those don't have to be at any particular pace. They can be nice, steady pace, maybe 8-minute pace, something like that. That is what I would do if you need to run. What's up, Mikkel? Yep, thank you. Hope you have a good week too. But here's the deal. When you ask this question, let's say you're running 20 miles a week and you ship out of here October 24th. The last thing you want to do is go, hey, I got to run 40 miles a week before I leave. And then you spend the next 3 weeks running 40 miles a week. You show up to boot camp, you got knee tendonitis and shin splints because you doubled your mileage in a week. I don't recommend doing that. So pretty much you're going to have a 12-week prep after boot camp. You can progress your mileage up during that preparation program at Buds if you need to build up your miles before Buds. You don't want to do it too much, but you just want to make sure you can definitely handle the load that is Buds and also the pace that requires you to pass Buds and finish with a passing score. When PSTing pull-ups, do you recommend thumb under the bar or over the bar for medium-sized hands? The bars used in Buds seem thicker. I always did them this way. I don't have huge hands. I always did them this way, and I will tell you why. Because I remember the day when the instructor made us all do this. We all fell off the bar. Many of us did because our grip was just toast. And so that just by doing that and doing pull-ups and hangs and knee ups and stuff that we were doing, everybody's grip just lost it. So this is a rock climbing grip. When you're climbing rocks, people do it this way. They don't use their thumb like grabbing rocks like that for a reason. So I recommend it this way. If you want to stay on the bar, if you want to work your grip more, do it this way. How about that for a compromise? I try and balance speed and distance throughout my week. I can do 5 miles at 7:30 pace. That's good. That's great. You don't need to be any faster than that. When I do speed, I try to get 6-minute pace. That's great. What I would try to do is this: try to get 4 miles at 7-minute pace. That is the goal I would set for yourself versus trying to run 40 or 50 miles a week. Get 4 miles at a 7-minute pace and not be a gut check, right? The last thing you want is like to set this goal for 28 and it kicks your ass so bad that you got no juice for the next event. That never know what that's going to be. Could be logs, could be boats, could be an O course, whatever. Could be a PT. So, yeah, be at a comfortable pace. So if you run a 7:30 pace for 4 miles, So that's a 30-minute 4-mile timed run. That's not bad. I mean, that's 2 minutes faster than the minimum standard. Um, which in first phase you got 32 minutes to increase, or you got 32 minutes to pass a 4-mile timed run. So that's an 8-minute mile, but that's the minimum. You don't want to flirt with that at all. 7:30 is, I wouldn't say 7:30 is flirting with it, but I'd say if you want to be in that top 25% of the class, play around with that 7-minute mile pace. That's going to put you in good stead with the guys who will likely be finishing buds. I've increased my mileage safely over the last few months. No shin splints. Good. You're doing it right then. All right. Let's see. Do I have any more videos? Um, see what's going on. All right. So we share this. Let's go big picture and good kickoff streamline. No double arm pull. That's okay. All right. So got a top arm, bottom arm, kick and glide. I like this. I will say this though, because he doesn't have goggles on, I think he's losing his position in the water. So if you notice, after he kicks, he kind of drops his head like almost probably good 8 to 12 inches off the water. Can't really see it. If you were, I had an underwater camera, I'd show it to you, but you definitely can tell his head is lower than his butt, right? So what he has to do is now um, he's going to be gliding down, getting deeper with every inch that he's gliding, and now he's got to come up to breathe. So that's an awkward kind of porpoising way to get through this stroke. You don't want to do that. So you want to stay as flat as you can, and you rotate to breathe whenever you need to breathe, or you just stay on your side the whole time and do it that way. Another thing I'm seeing is that if when he kicks, notice when he kicks here, so he does a side kick on his side, right? So he's doing a big whip kick here. Nothing wrong with this kick. But then notice by the time his legs are together, he's already on his belly, like right here. Like he's already on his belly. So sometimes if you roll over in the middle of a scissor kick, you lose a lot of power because you turn it into a breaststroke kick almost in the middle of your kick. He may not be doing that, but it's really close. So I personally recommend this. Kick on your side, and then if you want to roll over on your belly, do it during that 2 to 3 second glide and not kick and roll over like in the middle of it. That's just another thing that can weaken your kick. All right, another question for Buzz. Do you recommend using underwater underwear at any time, or do you think it's best to use compression shorts under your camis UDT shorts? Um, yeah, I never wore underwear. We didn't have compression shorts in my day. Um, so I think they gave us bike shorts during Hell Week, and it's the first time we had these bike shorts on, and I had the worst chafing ever than I ever had at Buds because of that. Because sand just got in, just ate it up. Yeah, it was a mess. Um, so I should have taken those off on day one and just gone with the UDT shorts underneath the camis. You got to get used to that for sure. But, if you wanna wear compression shorts underneath, they got some nice ones now that, at least, you know, keep your junk from jumping up and down when you run, bouncing. Alright. Yeah, my advice on that is just try it. Try it, before you go with the UDT shorts without, with compression, without compression to see which one you like better. All right, guys. I'm afraid I gotta go. Gotta cut it short. Got a busy day today, and plus I'm not feeling 100%, so gotta rest my voice, or I'm probably gonna lose my voice here in the next few days if I keep this. I don't know what it is, allergies or a cold, but something's coming. Definitely feels like fall. So I will see you guys next week. If I missed your question, you can always email me, stu@stewsmith.com, and happy to answer that question by email. You can send me a video that way as well. A lot of people send me videos to DM on my Instagram. I'm able to just search, just open it, reply right to that DM, and get you a good critique answer there. Um, but yeah, send whatever you got. Happy to critique it for you. Also, check out stewsmithfitness.com. That's my website. Tons of articles over there. Great little search feature for a topic if you're looking specifically for something I've written on my site. But I write for other sites too, and you can find a lot of articles on military.com that I write about, you know, any question that pops up to me in the last 20 years, I have answered it in an article. So when I send people articles as an answer, it's just because it's such a common question and I've already written something about it. If it doesn't specifically answer your question, by all means, ask a secondary question. Happy to get a little more specific for your situation. But yeah, go to stewsmithfitness.com, use the live 15 coupon code, save yourself 15% on those books for sticking around. I appreciate it. You guys have a good one.